Now to the news overnight on country music star Mindy McCready, dead at 37 in an apparent suicide. The singer had been going through a period of real turmoil, struggling with substance abuse, rehab, and most recently the death of her boyfriend. ABC's Connelly has the story now of the woman with so much lost promise.
Years ago, long before her portrayal of a hungover party girl would seem cruelly ironic, Mindy McCready was a fresh-faced 20-year-old from Florida, as her Guys Do It All the Time became a #1 country single in 1996.
So I had some beers with the girls last night. Guys do it all the time.
Her bright promise still shined through the 90s, as her debut CD, 10,000 Angels, went double platinum. But the radiance of that smile would fade as alcohol and drug dependency seized control of her life.
There were 4 suicide attempts, there were several arrests, there was at least 3 trips to rehab. All put together, her career was derailed because her personal life was so chaotic.
She spoke openly about her addictions on The View in 2010.
When there would be some kind of crisis or some kind of painful thing happen to me, it was readily available to go and drink too much.
Reality TV chronicled her struggle to get clean. When she sat down with ABC News late in 2011, McCready was hoping that she had turned a corner.
I grew up in a really difficult way. I'm very proud that I've made it this far and that I understand why I've made the bad choices I've made and how not to make them in the future.
Yet on Sunday afternoon, Mindy McCready was found dead of an apparently self-inflicted gunshot wound. She leaves behind 2 young sons and unsullied memories of a hopeful young singer who once dreamed of having it all.
I'm still here.
Mindy McCready was 37 years old. For Good Morning America, Connelly, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Thank you, Chris. We're going to bring in GMA legal analyst Dan Abrams now. And Dan, clearly a troubled individual here, had dealt with numerous legal issues over her life. Most recently, the questions around the death of her then boyfriend. So what now to make of that investigation?
Right, so initially that was deemed to be a suicide. And then the authorities said, oh, wait a second, there are too many questions here. We want to continue that. I don't think this is going to change that. I think they're still going to want answers to know what happened, how it happened, and there's an argument to be made that this may even kick it into further gear as the authorities try to get some of those answers, some of those questions answered.
She also dealt with addiction for most of her adult life. Her children actually put into foster care just a month ago when she was placed into court-ordered rehab. So now, what becomes of that?
Last time we talked about this on the show, she had actually taken one of the children away out of state against a court order. And the question there was, how do they get her back? She eventually gave up both of her children when she went into this court-ordered addiction program. And now we're going to have to figure out what happens to these kids, because remember, the father of the older child lost custody after he allegedly tried to kill her. So there's all sorts of family problems here. I would expect that the father of Xander, the older child, is now going to try and get custody back. And then the question is he going to also ask for custody of little Zane, who's 10 months old as well?
A sad end that may not be an end at all. Dan Abrams, we appreciate it.
Okay, Josh.